You lost that love and feeling. Oh, that love and feeling. You lost that love and feeling and it's gone. Okay. Yeah, alright, so welcome to Flashback Fridays, where I take a look at an 80s film and give it a review. And this week we're talking about the 1986 film Top Gun, starring Tom Cruise, Kelly McGillis, Val Kilmer, Anthony Edwards, Tom Skerritt, and is directed by Tony Scott. Okay, so there have been several movies throughout the years, several infamous movies that everybody talks about in the 80s and 90s, whatever, that I simply haven't, for some reason, that I simply haven't seen. And this was one of them, because even though I had heard about this movie, for the longest time, I had never seen it. And with Top Gun Maverick coming up, maybe sometime this year, I bought this DVD at the Walmart in preparation for that. And I hadn't reviewed it yet, because it got pushed back. It was supposed to come out this month, but then got pushed to December due to the schmandemic going on with Sharonas. So, my Sharona, so I figured, well, one thing that pushed me is that Cinemassacre is doing a review on it, and I'm like, you know what, I have to watch it. You know, they're doing their rental reviews, and I'm like, well, I'm going to need to watch it now, so I know what's going on. So, figured, why the hell not? This is my Flashback Friday review for this week. So, let's talk about it. What's the story? Well, the story's kind of weird, as it's not really, like, there's not really a big, like, fight with an enemy till the end of the film, really. I mean, because I thought, oh, okay, because one thing I knew about this is that Goose, played by Anthony Edwards, he dies. But he dies during a practice. So, I don't know. First of all, let's talk about the cast. Because there are a load of names that were famous at the time and wouldn't be known till later. You have Tom Cruise, Kelly McGillis, Anthony Edwards, Tom Skerritt, James Tolkien from the Back to the Future movies, Slacker, Michael Ironside, Val Kilmer, Adrian Pasdar from Heroes, Tim Robbins plays Merlin at the end, Meg Ryan, and man, I'm glad she got better. She's terrible in this. They gave her some southern accent, which makes her sound horrible. And man, I'm glad she got better. I haven't seen much with her, and I've seen City of Angels, and that's a good movie, and she's good in that. But here, you could tell she was just starting out. I remember she had a walk-on role on, what was it? Was it Charles in Charge or something before this? But like, yeah, I'm glad she got better, because here, not so much. Anthony Edwards with hair and a mustache. Gotta say, it was kind of weird. It used to him being bald from ER. With no mustache. Maybe he had facial hair. He had the goatee, right? Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Tom Cruise. Something I noticed watching this, and once you realize it, you can't stop looking at it. Tom Cruise's teeth are, he's got one fucking tooth right in the middle, lines up with his nose, right here. One tooth right in the middle. And once you notice that, Like, I was watching another video from the Renegade Media Group. They were doing a reaction to nostalgia critic and angry video game nerd Tom Cruise, The Mummy, and before they started the reaction, they were putting it out and they're showing pictures of the tooth. And as soon as I saw him smile in this movie, I'm like, yep, it's right there. You can't get away from it. Once you realize that it's there, it's always there. Every time he smiles, you get the tooth. One tooth right there. It's like, right there. It's, oh my. It's very annoying. I was actually shocked to find this movie is PG. Because there's tons of swearing, which, at the time, The Goonies is PG, for God's sake. But this is PG, and they say stuff like, goddamn, shit. The F-word's not spoken once, but yeah. And there's a sex scene. It's not really a sex scene for you know, it's not what you would think would be a sex scene. It's just very close up, very slow, kind of sex scene between Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis. But yeah, it's just, I'm just like, because that's when they were swearing. I'm like, well, what is this? PG-13, R? I look at it, PG. PG! Well, 80s PG, there was, I guess at this time, there was, you know, PG. I don't know. It's really weird. So what is the story? Well, I tried to start talking about the story and I changed the cast. Well, the story is that Maverick and Goose are transferred to Top Gun Training Academy because, you know, Maverick's a hothead. And so during this training, he meets, what's her name? Kelly McGillis' character, I forget it, Charlie. He meets Charlie, and you get the scene in the bar, which is sort of mimicked. See, I always thought that, you know, in Scream 2, when Jerry O'Connell does that song, and Mickey says, Tom Cruise, Top Gun, 1986. And I'm like, oh, so he's copying the scene. But it's a different song. Where there he sings, I think I love you, so what am I so afraid of? I'm afraid that I'm not sure of a love there is no cure for. Here, Tom Cruise is singing, you lost that love and feeling. But he's got like everybody bump, bump, bump in the background and stuff. And, you know, they hit on Charlie. And then he finds out that he's one of her training officers he finds out that she's one of her training officers the next day, which is kind of funny. Yeah, so there's a rivalry between Tom Cruise's Maverick and Val Kilmer's Iceman. Because if you want a dick in a movie, you gotta have it be Val Kilmer. Play a dick in a movie, who knows? I still think he was a pretty decent Batman, to be honest. But yeah, so what else? Well, I think the scenes of them flying through the air are pretty cool. Great effects, you know. When the good guys blow something up, it makes me go, yeah! It's just like, yeah! I did that a couple of times and it blew up with, yeah! Okay, so let's talk about Goose's death scene. They're up, they're flying, and Maverick decides she's gonna veer off, but they get caught in one of the tail things, I think, and they get hit, and Maverick tells them to eject, but when they eject, Goose hits the top of the, you know, when the thing ejects, top of the jet or whatever flies off, he hits that, and he hits it head first, and it causes him to die. And I felt like they lost out on an opportunity to really have a scene where Maverick comes back and it's just like Meg Ryan and the kid standing there waiting for them, and he comes walking, and he, you know the scene you have in something where she's walking and she's looking and he just kind of walks up to her, puts his head down, and she starts to cry, and he holds her, that kind of thing. They don't do that. They do have a scene together, but it's not like that. It's just a hug and stuff. It's nothing too, big. So they determined that Goose's death is like that Maverick is not responsible for it, and they clear him of all charges, and they clear, they're gonna clear their entire record of it. And I was just like, yeah, clear the record. That clears the record. That clears him of ever being charged of it. But that doesn't clear his head. That's still going to be weighing on him. Did it happen? Whether they officially say he's responsible or not, it's going to be in here and it's going to be in here that's telling him different. And indeed, that's what happens. It affects him in a way where he's not able to fly. And eventually he says he's going to retire. But, he eventually gets reassigned after a talk with... There's this story going on that something happened with his father. I guess I didn't really understand, because he talks to Tom Skerritt's character, Viper, about it. And I guess Viper flew with his father that day, and I guess he was a hero. I don't exactly know. I guess I didn't understand it. If someone there let me know in the comments what it was. Maybe the Cinemassacre review will shed some light on that, but I don't know. I just I guess I just didn't get it. So he gets reassigned to the station he was at the beginning to help out, and Iceman and his, in Hollywood, I think is Rio, gets sent out, and then they have a backup, and then Maverick is that backup. The backup gets shot, so Maverick is sent out, and Iceman, of course, has no confidence. But in the end, Maverick comes out, and he just, boom, he does this thing where he, there's one left, or not one left, but he's got one rocket left, or whatever it is, one shot left, I guess you can, and so he does this thing where he's flying, and he puts on the brakes, and the guy flies in front of him, then he locks on, fires the shot. I thought that was pretty cool. And, they have a little celebration in the end, and this is where, he gets his vindication with Iceman, and Iceman's like, I still think you're dangerous. But you can fly with me anytime, and then handshake and everything, it's like respect, Like he has respect for him now. Whereas he was basically ragging on the entire film, now he's got the respect. So it's just as much Iceman's movie as it is Maverick. Maverick's going through all the stuff in his head, but then Iceman also has to learn to trust him. You can fly at me anytime, I mean, you got a cameo from Tim Robbins in the end, which he's not really messing it much, but yeah. And then we get this end part. Which I thought, okay, so when he goes to have lunch with Charlie at her house, right, he mentions that his mom used to ask him to play Dock of the Bay all the time. And he got sick of it. So there's a scene where he's at the bar at the end, and he's sitting there, and someone puts a coin in a jukebox, starts playing a song. And at first, I thought it was going to be Dock of the Bay. But then I realized what song it was. You lost that love and feeling. I'm like, oh, I get it. And then she shows up, and they have a little talk, and the movie ends, I think it's a good movie. My first time watching, I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it a 9. Yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Why not? It's not bad at all. I think it's pretty good. It's an enjoyable film. The actors are great all around. Yeah. Could have been more Michael Ironside. Just say, you got that wonderful actor in your movie, and you use him for a couple scenes. So the only major problem I have is, why not more Michael Ironside? More Michael Ironside is always a good thing. You need more Michael Ironside, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Top Gun? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. We'll see you in the next one.